Hello guys, and together with the maintenance cat today, I've been looking around and I cannot seem to find a decent video to dismantle this SVU from ASP. It's a JG supplier. So I thought let's see what we can do about this one. Now this is a JG Works or ASP SVU OTs-03as, so it stands for automatic. This has full auto capabilities, and it comes with a integrated bipod which you can take off. As you can see, I already did that to make it a bit more easy. Now what I'm going to show you today is how to dismantle and get to the gearbox. Surely it doesn't seem to be that difficult, but it took me some time to figure out with help in text. Now what I did myself is remove these two parts from the gearbox. So you see I already opened it up. This is part of the fire selector. This will push against one of the springs in the gearbox, making it full automatic, which for the Netherlands sadly is not allowed above 360 FPS, and seeing I don't want to replace the spring, I have to take it off. Anyway, so this aside, this one actually takes, I believe it was a TX10. No, it's a TX15. So a Torx 15 to take this off. Now what we're first going to do is, I'll keep it like this so you guys can actually see. Flip this open, pull it off, pop off the handguard like so, and forget about it. Now what you'll first notice is that this cable will be attached to the outer barrel with a couple of tie rips. I just cut them off because I don't like tie rips because I always seem to open my skin up on them. And yeah, I just like the maneuverability, so your choice. Alright, so to get to the gearbox itself, on the top of it, you see this is not part of it. It's actually from my P90, but as you can see it doesn't come with a standard sling mount, which is supposed to be around here somewhere, so I had to improvise. Pop that flip and pop it off like so, and here you can see the top of the gearbox. This can be easily taken off. Just flip this out. There goes the bind, uncovering your hop-up, top of the gearbox, and that's as much as we're going to do right now because we don't want to release this yet. Let's keep it stable. So as I can see here, we are going to need a TX8. I'll first remove these two. As you can see, this is attached to the rings for the bipod. As you can see there, it just slides right in, and it's only retained by a little piece of handguard right there that fits nicely in between. Anyway, doesn't matter. So be careful not to lose them. I have a tendency to drop them. And we can see that the cat has a tendency to play around with screwdrivers while I'm doing so as well. There we go. Now, also to TX8, you don't have to release them entirely, only to loosen them up, so you can pull this out. Now here, you can just fasten them again, just because you don't want to lose this part. As you can see, it's a spring. What it does is, as you can see here, retain the safety pin. Yes, a normal safety pin. The gearbox selector itself does not have any safety on it whatsoever. If you got it on safe, it will fire semi. If you got it on semi, it will fire semi. Set it to auto, and it will actually push this one in, and we'll go full auto. So, save it. You're going to need it. As you can see here, no more safety. So for the next step, it's actually quite simple. You can ignore the stock, trigger, assembly, everything. Now what you cannot ignore is the flip up side. Now careful, it's also spring powered. You're going to have to use a flat head for this, and please do make sure to hold it. I'm not saying it's going to jump away, because the moment, see, now it's already loose. You just pull it out. Pull that one out. You can see there. You just need to pull this one with. It's actually quite easy. Just turn it upside. Now I'm saying it's quite easy, but the first time was easier. It's loose. Oh, come on. Don't lose the spring. There we go. So let's keep this a little bit. Keep that a little bit assembled, or together at least. She's always so patient. Waiting for attention while I'm making videos. So here, I'm not sure if you can see it. You're going to need a little bit of light for that, I guess. So let's see if I can supply a little. So TX, I think they were 8s, but they, yeah. We'll see either 8 or 10. That's the barrel retainer. So before you actually go in there, take these 2 screws that keep a hold of your hop up. You don't have to unscrew them fully, but, well, actually you do, otherwise you can't get the inner barrel fully out. So put those aside, and let's dive into, yeah. So you do need a TX10 for that. Now mind, there are 2 of them, and they just, I would call them, yeah, just your standard barrel retainers. Now you can already feel it coming loose now, so you can see that the inner barrel doesn't per se want to join. Let's take them all the way out. There we go. Just retain this. It's a 64 to 65 centimeter barrel, so I want 640, 650 millimeters. Quite long. So there you go. There's your outer barrel. Just put this aside. Now we're going to carefully also remove the inner barrel, like so. Not sure if you guys could see that. You just stick it out to the side, slide it out. Try not to lose any parts. As usual, lay it aside. And basically, you're stuck with just your gearbox. Now, there's still a little bit to do here. For example, you're going to have to take this one out, just twist that a bit up. You can see it has that retainer that follows up with the cavity there. Put it aside. This one, fire selector, twist up, pull out. Same story, only sections on both sides. Now that's partially loose. Now we're going to grab, this time we're going to grab a smaller one because it is more easy to go in here. Actually, we can do this easier because this one should be loose because you took the selector off. You can take that off. You can pull the retainer out, which will give you easier access to another crosshead screw. I would like to say be careful. Oh, the cat is interested in something now. Because this will also partially release your gearbox. Careful with that one. And we're going to need a TX8 for the stock. The stock with this screw is directly attached to the motor casing. So take it off, loosen it. There you go. What are you doing? What I found easier is to take the motor off, so you would get a little less, well, a little more leeway actually. So what we do now is release this cable from its harness. Do it carefully because you see this was already stuck in there, so they kind of forced it in. And just pull this out at least a little bit until your, I don't even know how to call this. You'll have to forgive me on that. English is not my native language. Pop that off. You can see there's your gearbox. Now if you want to take it completely off, there's just, the cable is just stuck in a few more places. I'm sure you can remove that. Or you can just take that off, if you know how that works. So basically what I did to explain to you this, and we'll just have to unscrew this for a moment to show you guys. I'm not going to fully fasten it, but you can see here the release lever. This one fits nicely in here. See that function? Which is pretty much done by this bad boy. When your fire selector goes all the way down, this one kind of keeps it off. I'm sure most of you want to keep full auto on it. It's not really high in RPM though. Not super high. Won't be able to show you now, but just saying. Now on this side is where this comes in. So you see the moment the selector twists, it will twist this side, transfer it to the other side, moving this pin to enable full auto. Just take that entire set off and you're completely done. Not going to open the gearbox. I have no experience with it, to be honest. I know V3s, V2s. This is just, yeah, I guess it's just pretty much standard from what I normally open up, but I just don't want to take the full risk on it. Right now the only thing I want is just to take full auto off, so I'm going to keep it as such. Naturally, you'll think, what to do with the fire selector? Well, basically you can actually keep that off if it wasn't to retain the gearbox, because this, basically what that selector does is only operate that switch when you set it to the second position. First, it should be safe. This should be semi. It's in fact both semi, like I explained before. You actually use that safety pin to really operate the safety, sadly, but I wonder if there's a way to actually make that more realistic, like actually make it workable, but we'll see. For now we just have a nice semi-automatic SVU. Now before you pop this back into place, be absolutely sure that this one basically pops back to where it belongs. And other than that, you just basically slide this in. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, I'm trying to keep this in view for you guys, but it does make everything a lot more difficult, to be honest. So, and actually, like I said before, it's actually more easy when you take the motor off. At least that's what I found. There you go. Fits nicely. You can just pull this down. And when this is back, you don't have to worry about the trigger mechanism anymore because it will pretty much hold it in place. So, first things first, let's just secure the gearbox with that last screw I had. In case you haven't realized, we're pretty much back to reassembly. So that's safety pin. So the thicker piece goes on the right side, as you can see here. Just like that. You can put the outer side of the mag wall back. Try to do it the right way around. And this will pretty much pop in there, closed, done. So after you did this, you can put the wire selector back in place. Put it on safe for good measure. Doesn't work, but nobody will ever know. Stock. What's this? Yeah. No. There we go. And you can basically fit this one back in as well now. It won't do you any good until the end, but you might as well want to have it in place so you don't lose it. These parts are naturally well, there you have it. I seem to have lost the screw now anyway. I'm thinking if it's not anywhere near here, it's got to be stuck to the gearbox, basically. Don't mind my clumsiness sometimes. You doing? Nay. Well, basically the screw should be somewhere around here somewhere. But you know what? I don't think I'm gonna bother you with searching for it. I'm just gonna assemble this and be done with it. Just so you guys will not have to spend too much time on this video. So basically the gearbox is now set in place with the screw there. the selector and the, well, closure for the top of the receiver. Let me sit back down for a moment. Una. Nito. So basically we're back to the inner. Just be careful with it, just make sure it sticks through. You won't be able to do it the other way around because it basically has this blind air. And be careful what you do on that side as well. Just slide it in like so. Not sure if it's good to have it rest on the nozzle, because I did hear that the nozzle is not really efficient. So you might want to swap that out for a RS nozzle, real sword. So basically this slides back on. Don't do anything here yet. You just want to make sure that it stays firmly attached there with the spring. I'm just looking around to make sure that nothing else is missing right now. So basically, you're not allowed on a table. So basically you want to pop these back in. Yeah, and it is quite useful if you want to invest in a couple of TX screwdrivers that are actually magnetic for this one. Otherwise you're not going to be happy about reassembling it that much. Let me just make sure it's all the way to the back now. That's what I'm talking about. That's two. Reinsert the casing here. Make sure the spring is still inside. Now, the first time I did this, it was actually quite easy because everything stayed attached, but the more you do it, the looser everything becomes, it seems. So just, that's what I'm talking about with one of these set of pliers. Now, which way around is this? Hang on, let me just kill that cat. She is smart. So, first make sure that's in a proper position there. Now the sight will actually pop it into position because it has those cavities for it. You got screw again, stick it through, flathead. So if it doesn't tighten right away, just push it on the top so it aligns. And screw it until it's jammed. Should be done there. Right. So we're basically pretty much at the end. We only need to really stick the safety back in. Now this one goes onto the table side here, so on the right side of the replica. Stick it through. And before you actually do anything else, you might want to check the inside for the alignment a little. The jagged edges, not sure if you can see it right there, probably not. Jagged edges will need to face this way for the retainer spring. So once you got that in place, you can pretty much set it down a little bit. Maybe put something underneath, but make sure the cable is a bit out of the way. And 8 for that again. Don't untie it too far, otherwise the spring might pop out. So basically you just gently push it back. Yeah, I'm not sure if I trust that yet. There you go. You got that click. There's your safety. So first thing you do is just keep the pressure on a bit. Tighten these two. These were the ones, right? Yeah. Just keep the pressure on until you got one of them in. Would have been useful to actually have an extra set of hands. But sadly, the only thing I have around here is a cat. I guess it doesn't really work if you don't have opposable thumbs, or opposing thumbs, however you pronounce that. There we go. Now you got that back in place, and actually you're pretty much done here, except for this blind. Keep it all the way to the front, otherwise you're going to have problems with alignment. And stick the flat piece through, and maybe you want to slide it back here a little. There you go. Opening is pretty big, so you pretty much fit it in quite easily. Up until the point where you notice you again did a wrong order. Don't forget when everything is assembled to put the inner barrel retainers back in. I don't know what the hell they're called. Either side. I'm not going to bother too much because there's also, it's spring loaded of course. They're fairly easy. And experience in other replicas shows that those type of screws or the fittings in the outer barrel, the threading is not that strong, so no extra screws left. Nope, doesn't seem like. It's good. Seems to work. So yeah, I'll just attach that one as well because, like I said before, I pretty much did this to remove full auto. I just actually did that before making this video just to make sure that I was able to guide you guys through this. Now actually the most difficult I feel of this thing is to put both sides of the handguard back. Go for number one. Come on. There you go. Work with me. Come on. Up a little. Down. Clench it. Sorry for French. Now with this one, just pop it over the top again. Close this forward. And you're basically done. Now for good measure, this doesn't have to be that difficult because it can actually, it's meant to swivel left and right, so basically you fit this back in there, not too far. Just keep it like that. Now these edges fit nicely in between. So this one pretty much fits, you just have to line this stuff with it. There you go. Now this one is going to use a 15. Yeah, 15. Hey. Wat verdomme. She's so fast. Notice that I don't have my own working place to do this, where cats are not allowed. Yeah, I'm looking at you. So, here you see. Not necessarily easiest, because I don't know why this part actually has threading. It's kind of weird, actually. Luna, ik waarschuw je. So, it doesn't lift itself. I think I can actually use a TX20 for this. Yeah, so this one perfectly fits a TX20. For future reference. You can pretty much tighten this, I think. Smart ass. Not allowed on the table. Okay, I'll use the chair. Sorry guys, don't get a Maine Coon. They're way too smart for a general human. You could pretty much tighten this up quite well. See, you can still move it around. Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, the disassembly and reassembly of the APS Airsoft Pioneer OTs-03as or ASP 1012 SVU. Thanks for watching. Good luck.